the grain barrel in the grain, you know, and I must have been little because it wasn't cramped. I had room. That was my playpen. And the sound of the vacuum pump and the milking machine and the feel of the grain on my skin, you know, running my hands through it as Mom was milking the cows, because what are you going to do with a little kid? While you're milking cows. And just to this day, that's one of my favorite sounds. She hates it. She hates the sound of our milking machine, and I love it.
What do you love about it?
I don't know if it's because I just had it in my head from when I was little, but like, that's my soundtrack. That's my life. Is that milking machine sound.
Well, so, how old are you now?
I'm 20 now.
20? Oh, really? Wow, I would have guessed. So that clean farm living. You think you're going to do this for your life?
Well, I hope to work in farm educational work, which is what we're doing now. We're no longer selling milk. My father, Chris Hopkins, does, so I spend time on that farm as well. And we run programs and things like Karen's son, Tim, and I work with children and offering that opportunity for those who can't grow up in it anymore.
Yeah. But you don't see yourself farming?
I don't see myself as a dairy farmer. I like too many other kinds of animals to be strictly a dairy farmer. I will probably always have cows and always milk cows. You grow up with that sort of quality of food, you don't ever give that up. Even if you don't do it for, to sell milk or to have cows, you do it for the food. Because nothing ever tastes as good.
Yeah, you're right. I wonder, I think we should probably start wrapping up a little bit because some people have places to go at 3:30 I know. Does anybody have any thoughts, either up here or out there, about what we may have lost as a town by virtue of the fact that it's different now and most of the dairy farms are out of business? What have we lost or conversely, what have we gained? How are we different?
You've lost a way of life.
That's right.
You've lost a way of life. Growing up, I think I can remember 23 or 24 active farms here in town, and I think now with Debbie's and Chris's and Herbert's, that's it. You have lost a way of life, and it's a shame. I think also what you've lost is a very definitive work ethic. Someone gets a job on a farm, it's go build a fence or split wood or shovel manure. All of this stuff had to be done on a very regular basis, and I think most kids today don't have that work ethic. I know it wasn't a choice we had when we were growing up. You went and did it. You were expected to do it as part of just doing your part. And, there's so much that had to be done. You really had to do it.
It's interesting that you say that because you don't have particularly fond memories of being a farmer.
Oh no, conversely, I have a lot of very, very fond memories. Most of them good.
Well put.
I'd just like to add to
I will. But, okay, great. Let's go.
add to what John said about the integrities of these farmers. These are honest, hard-working men. Long hours. I remember one time, this was probably when Dad was getting near the end of his career. And the first cutting was starting to be mowed. And at that time, he had the self-propelled windrower. Would mow the hay, put it into windrows. And I saw him go around the field once, twice, and then I saw him get off his machine and lay it across the windrow. So I thought, well, what's going on here? So he got back on the machine, he came around, and I stopped. I said, Dad, what's going on? Why did you lay across the windrow like that? Well, at that time, he had to hurry. He said, I got to lay on the hay and push it back in. He said, once this first cutting's in, I'll go take care of it. So, and he did. And there was a couple other things I wanted to add that we didn't talk about too much today, was the bulls. We had a Holstein bull and he was one huge bull. And naturally he had to be in a pen. It was against the law for him to be out roaming by himself. He had a door in front of his pen. It was probably about 3 inches thick of oak. He would take his head, he naturally had horns, he'd hit that door and it'd fling up like that because it was on hinges. And before he'd come out again, he'd start to walk out and he'd come down, he'd hit it again and up it would. I mean, these are big, powerful animals. And there was a couple other things I wanted to talk about. We were talking about molasses. So naturally as kids, we put the molasses on your finger and the cow would lick it off. So one day the neighbor's horse comes by. I said, well, I'm going to give this horse some molasses. So I put my finger out and I said, oh my God, is that horse ever going to let go? Not knowing they got 2 sets of teeth.
It's all in how you learn, Larry. It's all in how you learn. Well, I'm going to ask you just one thing, if you don't mind, because I was really kind of moved by the way you described what you saw and how you learned how to tell time and count by the movements of the cows. So now that that's not so easy to do anymore, how do you feel about Cornwall now as opposed to Cornwall back when you were growing up?
I feel like I meet many, many wonderful people like yourself at Sand Road, and that people that come on weekends and new people love their animals and they really want to learn and share. So I think it's wonderful. I take my own grandchildren. I find every little farm you can find in Hartford County. We're part of 4-H out there, and there is a cow star that's 15. It's our great friend out in Hartford. And I just think that people will love cows forever and love 4-H farms and little places to go, and that the people that are here do love them. I'm happy with the change. I mean, I just feel like things that I learned, I do at Sand Road. And fortunately, the doctor I work for grew up on a farm. So he's very understanding and compassionate of large animal, small, and I just think it's a privilege.
Still animals, just different.
It's just different. I go over to New York State. I worked for Dr. K, filled in when Sand Road had that practice. And Dr. K said when he was a little boy and worked on farms and decided to become a farm vet, there were 35 dairy barns that he worked at. He said, now they're horse barns. And like we all said, at least they're animals in the field.
Yeah.
And
It's almost a metaphor for the town. It's like you're saying, same animals, or different animals, same feeling. It's a different town, but still feels the same deal.
And I think people will always have that love, and they're very respectful and want to learn everything. I'm very happy. As long as the children get like what Deborah's doing at Eureka, and people open their hearts to that.
I want to just finish up with a story that I know Deb has, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot a little bit about. Because I want to end on a note saying how things go on here. And I know that you have a story about leading cows, feeding Dan Gracie's cows. Can you tell that? Okay. Would you be better sitting down?
Most of you are aware that in the valley there are some beautiful milking Devon cows, which was Dan Gracie's vision to bring back to Cornwall. And since he's passed away this summer, there's been a lot of question about what's going on with those cows and who's taking care of those cows. And I'm not sure that I can even answer that. John Old is helping with them. Dan's son Jed feels he owns them. And Alex North and Tucker, I don't know Tucker's last name, who's living in Coltsfoot Cottage, are taking care of them. Alex has been paid to make sure that they have hay when they need hay and move them when they need to be moved. So the time came they needed to be moved from up here near the bench at the head of the valley to the far corner by the little bridge by Marion's house and Sue Peterson's house, right? So Tucker and Alex went out there and tried to move them, and the cows just ran around and around and around in the field. And so they gave up on that strategy. And Alex's mom, who's visiting the farm regularly with Alex, because I have a splinted calf in my barn from that herd, she said, "Can you give us any ideas how to move these cattle?" And I said, "Well, you can set up a temporary fence, and maybe they like grain." And the next morning, I had to sleep on it, I said, "Why don't we reenact how Dan moved his cattle?" And so she got on the phone, because I said, "You need a red Folgers can, a red plastic Folgers can." She said, "I think there's still one in the barn at Dan's place." So she got someone looking for the red Folgers can. And you need to get the scooter that Dan used to drive. The key was broken off inside of it, and so nobody could use it. But she got her husband to hotwire the scooter so the scooter could be used. Well, there was no grain around, and I said, "I don't feed grain, but you need grain with molasses in it." So she called Mark Orth, and Mark Orth happened to have some. They used to feed their cattle some grain, and so he gave her powdered molasses and grain that made that rattling sound. And then she and Alex and Tucker, we all converged down the field. And Ben Gray was walking by, and he stopped and said, "You need a hand?" And yes, we're moving cattle. We need all the hands we can get. And a couple other people happened by, and so we were all out there. I said, "You got to make your arms way big. You know, stretch your arms out, make yourself look really big. And we don't want them to run. We want to move very, very slowly. So we're going to just walk, and we're going to try, you know, if they start going off this way, just move yourself out there, make yourself really long and big." So we're all psyched up, and you know, we're going to be calm, we're going to do this nice and calmly. And so Alex comes with Dan's scooter, and the red Folgers can. And he did it. He used Dan's voice. He said, "Come, Mike. You want some new grass, Mike? Come, Mike." And he shakes the can, and the whole herd just falls into line and runs after him, going as fast as he can on that little scooter. Yeah. And it was just like Dan was back with us.
Well, that's going to be hard to top, so they taught me early on in my career to leave on a high note. There's no better story about using the history of the place to you know, live in the day and keep on going, and that's what we do. I mean, we in Cornwall, we respect our history, we love our history, we learn from it, and we move on enriched by it. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Richard and Jeremy. This was really great. It was so fun to hear from so many of you. This is our last event in connection with our programs, or with our MOO exhibit. If you haven't had a chance and would like to make a donation, we have a jar at the back. And if you'd like to become involved in planning next year's events, please send me an email from our website. And I feel like it was just a fantastic program, so please give one more round to all of you. Oh yeah, lots of food in the back.